Hey everybody, welcome back to Northernlion, place of Binding Mice Academy Plus. We've got a good couple of dailies. Let's mix it up, or shall I say, na 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 na. Baby, mix it up, mix it up. LLW, wait, LL. LWLL, there we go. ZNJM. It's bad because there's no numbers in it. As we know, numbers control the items. Your letters control your stats. And if you say that, where's the proof? I say, hey, where's the beef? You know? Where's the proof? What a rhetorical question. This is a question for rhetoricians. Rhetoricians? I don't know what I'm talking about. I gotta get out of the silly mood. I'm in the NLSS mode right now. Let's go. But yeah, we've been playing pretty well. I mean, if I'm looking at the... Well, we haven't been playing that well. We've had good runs. If I'm looking at the way that this run looks... I mean, what do I complain about? There's nothing to complain about. So I'm very much out of my element right off the get-go here. We have good speed, great rate of fire, great damage, positive luck, no, like, inhibiting range. And we have a spacebar item that's actually, like, extremely nice. Blue Candle is a spacebar item we'd be thrilled to use for the duration of the game, essentially. But really, like, all we need to do right now is press the spacebar and point it at enemies, and they will all die. I will take Squeezy. I'm not going to take the Spirit Hearts yet, but I will take Squeezy. Because we might want to go to a Cursed Room, or, you know, who knows, essentially, where we want to go. I'm going to try for a Secret Room. And then we did get a Lover's card out of it. And 5 cents. It's worth it, even though we lose the bomb, I think. Because now we can use that Lover's card. We should have used a bomb there first, obviously. But we can use the Lover's card if we get an arcade on the next floor. And, oh, Creative Cloud, no. Derive quite a lot of value out of it. We are also, of course, like, long term. We're looking for, you know, a way, my queen, to find DAE Deadney, to find all the items that we're still missing. And the way, unfortunately, is item rooms. That's not one of them. We will take it. First, let's just see what we got over here. If we get, like, a Perthrow rune, it's not likely, but it's just good practice to do the right thing. Let's come down here. Grab Charm of the Vampire. We need Unicorn Stump. We need Epic Fetus, and we need a couple more that I don't necessarily remember the names of. So they must not be James West Tame in the West, as we know, because you would remember the name. I think we can leave. We got money. We didn't get to open the Tinted Rock and also the, like, consumable cache over there, because I used my bomb in an inappropriate spot, although we did get a nickel out of it, which is worth something. We'll hit up this floor, and a Curse of Darkness does not perturb me. I was born in it, molded by it. You merely adopted the Curse of the Darkness. In many ways, it's true. I've spent more of my adult life playing Isaac than not playing Isaac. I have been molded by this. I do think about this. I think this is what makes me kind of a unique content creator, you know? Both in a good way and a bad way. I do think about the effect on my, like, actual brain of spending the vast majority of my time... Well, not the vast majority, but spending, like, you know, 60 hours a week or more talking to myself alone in my office about whatever pops into my head. Like, I don't think it's intellectually poisonous. I actually think it's more dangerous to do it exclusively streaming. Because either, you know, if you're a streamer, you tend to get a chat that's in one of two camps. Either people agree with everything you say, even if you have no means to back it up, or people agree with nothing you say because you said something slightly pedantic. I don't know, or like something that might be misconstrued as being like, well, I like what you do. You decoded the Voynich manuscript, but you spelled Wednesday incorrectly, so I'm not sure if I can take you seriously, you know? So I worry is a strong word, that if you spent more time streaming, you would either have an inflated opinion of yourself that's artificial or an incredibly deflated opinion of yourself that's artificial. Mostly, I'm just here in, like, my isolation chamber recording stuff. Let me put it this way. I don't think it's intellectually poisonous, but if I had a child and I was like, hey, spend 8 hours a day talking to yourself in your room to develop your brain, that child would probably be taken away from me. At the very least, I would get funny looks when I told people about it. So, now I'm not a child. Despite my whiny nature sometimes when I play Isaac and don't get the items I want. And I do think, like, on almost like a physiological level, I wonder, like, what's going on? Oh, you jerk. What's going on with these brain pathways? How do they change when you rely on yourself for most of your entertainment? Not necessarily because you're the most entertaining, no one else could hit that standard, but more because, you know, there's no other option, just by default, really. I like IV Bag. Most of the time, I would probably roll it, but, wait, what was back here again? Let's take it. It is bad for our damage, but I do like having a laser beam. I took it. This is not, it might be a mistake, but it's not an accident. It's a deliberate mistake if it's a mistake. I'm not saying I'm in, like, some kind of weird, you know, uncharted territory, because, you know, radio DJs have existed for a long time, and then, of course, you know, just crazy people. But even, like, if you're a radio DJ, sure, talk radio. You sort of, you do spend a lot of time talking to yourself, but you also go, you know, hello, listener, you're on the air. Hey, well, the oil pan in my 1971 Buick's all blah, blah, you know, you get it figured out like that. And if you're a musician, or not a musician, but an aspiring musician, aka a DJ, on the radio, you mostly go like, hey, I'm coming to you live from the mall where Swatch has a sale this week. Cordless watch is half off. Coming up next, New Rules by Dua Lipa. Number 6 on our hottest 10 trending songs of the Tuesdays. So, you know, and then you play 4 minutes of ads while getting yelled at by your station manager in the back for not being excited enough. Ooh. Well, no, we like this. We like this. So I'm in kind of a unique position. This is my own fault for having the backlog, and the backlog, it giveth and it taketh away. It's like the gun in Zardos, you know? There's positives and negatives surrounding the backlog we're all aware of. But the loop of my life just gets more and more absurd as time goes on. Now, I put myself, like, if we look at this on a video by video level, I put myself in the box, I play a video game, I don't know what I'm going to talk about until we get started. I just kind of hope that something good comes out. And then a week later, yeah, he thinks the backlog's a week. A week later, I get feedback about it. And I go, what did I talk about again? It's very strange. I'm in a very unusual camp there, I think, relative to the, you know, the average human experience. I'm grateful for it, sincerely. And it sounds like I'm being insincere, but this is the most emotion I can muster in my voice right now. I am grateful for it. I mean, by definition, I have to have a unique perspective on things, but it is, I am very cognizant of the strangeness. It's so disheartening when you watch people that have, like, you know, streamed or been YouTubers for a long time and they become, like, disillusioned with it. There's things to become disillusioned with, by the way. But, like, how sad to some extent that it becomes, like, mundane. There are days when I feel like it's mundane, like, oh, what are you gonna do today? Oh, nothing serious, just gonna record a couple video games for YouTube, it's on my to-do list. But then there's also days where I'm like, good God, what is this existence that I've been able to carve out? And, you know, what did I do to deserve this, either positively or negatively? It's kind of amazing. There's like a fundamental difference, like, depending on how old you are. Like, if you were an adult when YouTube started to take off, for at least in, like, this side of the industry, you will always have, like, kind of a, at least I do, I have kind of like a really look on my face all the time whenever anyone sends me an email that's like, hey, we're big fans of your content. I'm like, really? I just sit here and play video games and talk about the passion, like, you know, track 3 on Murmur by REM. Calling out in transit, Radio Free Northern. Hey, could you, I mean, it might be a Mega Satan run, sure, but could you, like, slow your roll here? Because you're kind of being a little annoying. Combi and reaction and all that. Okay, so you're destroyed. Key piece 2 is good for future angel deals. Again, nothing to complain about on this run. Our damage looks bad. Well, it looks not great, but is good when you consider that we just had it go up a little bit as well, after having it go down after doing the Tech 2 gamble, which a lot of people will stay away from Tech 2, but I think it's situational. I used to always take it. You know, there's a dark time in Isaac before the stat screen became commonplace and you had to mod it, and as a result I didn't do it because that sounded just way too tedious. Does this work with technology? It probably overrides it, huh? No, it just makes your... Oh, I don't know about this then. I think we're just gonna bounce out of this floor. Hemolacria is like nobody's favorite item. I took some heat on the NLSS recently for saying that, you know, like this item's no good. I was accused of not enjoying items in Isaac anymore unless, you know, they contribute to the ideal run. That's not the case. I would love to use this item. It just needs, it's incredibly imbalanced, depending on your synergy, in the negative direction. So you pick it up and you go, oh cool, it's like a little parasite shot, and then you keep holding the button down and you go, is this thing on? Is this thing on? Is this thing, oh it is on, okay, it just lowers your rate of fire by like a factor of 500. Okay, grab this, play that. Messed that up a little bit, but that's okay. Alright. I think our rate of fire remains the same with the laser. It's just our tier that comes out a lot less frequently. I mean, you can see for yourself that we're pretty slow. Blue Candle is really gonna be the driving element for us. We're so lucky to have started with it. And it's mostly like, as a result of Blue Candle, this run is actually not bad. But it's not too far away from being either good or terrible. So we'll see how that goes. I did want to check this. Sure, blow it up, honestly. At this point, just blow it up. Perks. Not useful. Let's clear something out here. Yeah, I don't know. This is I know that this is a common trope of conversation in an Isaac episode, is NL talking about his life being sort of weird. But it's, I mean, if anything, it's actually weird in how mundane it is, you know? I just kind of like, I wake up, I got a routine. I'm a creature of habit. Almost to a fault. I wake up in the morning, usually. I cut a couple slices of Canadian bacon off of a thick log of it that I keep in my crisper. Fry them up, toast an English muffin, have that for breakfast, have a cup of coffee, finish the cup of coffee, pour myself another cup of coffee, and start recording whatever I'm gonna record that day. It's a nice loop. I can live that way for a long time. Economics willing. Economics? I don't know. I overcorrect my pronunciation now. I'm like a newscaster in New York City, originally from Louisiana. I'm constantly putting on an affectation. And it's an American affectation, I'll admit. That's what happens when your prime demographic is American. I say all sorts of American slang, like, y'all. I seen it, and then of course my favorite, taxation is theft. Ba-dum-bum. Oh, come on, it's a joke. Continue moving along here. I only feel that way because we're approaching April at the present moment. The vast majority of the time, from May to March, I'm like, taxation is an incredible, it's a responsibility that every North American, every citizen of a nation faces. And, you know, when you get to the top of the elevator, you send it back down for the next person. And if it requires you to do that from a fiduciary standpoint, then so be it. In April, I'm like, taxation should not exist. For the other 11 months of the year, so I would say, by definition, I don't want any of this trash, man. By definition, you know, I'm 11/12 in for income tax. You ever think about it sometimes, though? Like, things were probably worse back then, but if they were better, they were a lot better. Like, if you were in one of the groups that it was better for. Like, for example, the income tax in Canada only started to exist when the First World War happened. Before that, what were people doing with their money? Was it like I know not everybody was rich prior to the First World War. However, you were keeping 100 people. If you went back in time and you went, oh, what's your after-tax income? They would be like, what do you mean, like after sales tax or after some kind of tariff on shipping teas and baked goods across the border? It's only been introduced like within the past 100 years. Rather than be envious, because again, I do think it's your societal duty, without getting too political about it, to quote-unquote send the elevator back down. However, you gotta admit, that must have been pretty sick. If you were, and back then it wasn't like, you know, you'd be a lawyer and you'd be like, oh, I hate income tax. I'm so glad I don't have to pay it. You could like own 12 mines and pay people in mine coin they could only use to buy things from your mine store. It was like, if you were rich, that must have been like the greatest time to be rich. Sure, you could still get killed by, you know, the flu. I know people still do die from the flu. I'm just saying, with the advent of modern medicine, it's more rare. But like, they didn't even know how good they had it. If any wealthy industrialist in well, not 1920s, literally like where you can stop. It's just after the advent of it. But, you know, if you're a wealthy mine owner, or you own like a, you know, a farm that's basically industrial in the 1920s, he said it again, in the 1910s, I hope you never complained about anything. You don't even know, man. You didn't even know how good you had it. Everything was, if you were ever like, man, the workers didn't show up on time today, you got nothing to complain about. You'd be like, yeah, well, imagine a future in which, you know, the government takes somewhere between 17 and 52% of every dollar you earn. They would be like, that's a fiction. It's not a fiction. It's your societal duty. Anyway, we're on the verge of getting a little political. I don't do that. And the reason is because I don't know enough. I'm not strong enough in my political convictions to get in that discussion. First off, the other thing is like, I just play video games, so I don't really, it doesn't have to be about politics. I know, you know, I'm on Twitter all the time. People are like, it's 2018, everything's politics. Fashion is politics. Movies are politics. Video games are politics. Yeah, but like, not this. This is not politics. I will say though, a lot of people are very sensitive about politics online in today's day and age. Literally, like, you could be like, oh, I voted for Grover Cleveland in 1928. People would be like, can we stop? I get so much politics everywhere else in my life. This is my bastion. You said the P word, and I don't like to hear the P word unless I'm looking for stuff about the P word. So, it's alright. We'll get through. We can talk about politics in a satirical manner with like a modicum of respect for one another. It's gonna be okay. You can handle it. We'll get there. We'll handle it together. I gotta learn as well. I'm also trying to learn how to get off this conversation topic, and on that topic, I'm also trying to learn, you know what, we might never have had Greed's Gullet, but I think we have. I'm also trying to learn how to get some freaking damage on this run, because, my god, are we, like, just completely bereft of the ability to destroy enemies. Now, actually, I do want to point out, I think we might have something going here. Hemolacria Sad Bombs appears to be like driving the bus right now with respect to our damage. It's actually, with scatter bombs especially, it's a staggering amount of damage. God, that's a terrible item. We probably didn't even have to use a bomb, but we did obliterate the angel statue in like a millisecond. Alright, so we need more keys. Luckily, we do have burnt penny, so this is good. All I'm saying is not that you should be open to politics discussion, but it happens on the NLSS. Believe it or not, we have like mildly dissenting opinions on the NLSS, politically speaking. You know, we do exist probably pretty close to one another on the political spectrum, but there are definitely people on the show who are, you know, more towards the liberal side, and there's people on the show, I wouldn't say that are more on the conservative side, but that are more on the conservative side of liberal, at least. Like H.C. Justin was like, I don't understand how rich people don't literally get murdered every time they step outside of their homes, and I'm over here like I disagree with you, but what you just said is also hilarious. So it's a perfect situation, in my opinion. But yeah, like we could talk about it. We talk about it satirically, but it's a bummer sometimes. Most of the time, and I was actually surprised by this. Most of the time, you read the comments on those, especially on the subreddit, but unless you say our subreddit is a hug box, it's a great source of mental anguish for both myself and all of my co-hosts. Yes, both myself and all of us. He said the word wrong. But you know, it's humor. You could talk about things you disagree with people you respect, as long as we all agree that it's a discussion that happens in good faith, you know? And that's kind of what like adult friendship is like. Like I disagree with my friends on a lot of things. I've got friends that in low places where the whiskey downs and the beer can chases my blue. I don't know the lyrics. It's been a while since I listened to a bad radio station. Continue moving on here. You gotta accept that's part of being an adult. You know, it's actually part of having like good opinions. Is being able to expose yourself to things you disagree with, as long as it's in good faith. And on the internet, it's usually not. And I'm just being, at least with strangers, it's usually not. You know, if I was to tweet tomorrow, like, hey, let's talk about politics, I'm gonna get in these threads that are never gonna end, where people are gonna be arguing with each other. You know, it's just horrible, intellectual masturbation and also self-harm. But you know, with people you trust and you respect, absolutely, it's an important discussion. That's why I've come to talk to you today about a little economic strategy I've become invested in. The first thing is, and this comes up a lot, it's not a pyramid scheme. It's called funnel coin. And if you look like a sharp individual, you ever hear of the shape called a triangle? It's kind of like that upside down. I'm just looking, I mean, right side up, I mean. See, we can be on the point of this triangle, and the money will just sort of funnel upwards. If you get some of your friends to sign up, we're literally like 7 seconds too slow. This run is very weird. It's not bad. But I'm gonna use some sad bombs and try to make this happen. I'm not insulting cryptocurrency as well, by the way. I don't know anything about dang old crypto, man. Crypto the currency dancer. Crypto the coino dancer! There we go. There's one real joke in this episode. Yeah, you know, brace yourself games. In 2014, they came out with Crypto the Necro Dancer. 2018, you know what their new game is? Did you hear about this one? Crypto the Coina Dancer. That's my late night talk show about internet culture. I call it on hiatus instantly. Oh, geez Louise. The stars at night are big and bright, deep in the heart of Bitcoin. See, one bomb gets so much work done. 2 of diamonds, don't mind it. Oh, what? Dude, I'm a little upset. Stop making Burnt Penny pay out with... Ooh, I like that though. Stop making Burnt Penny pay out with these troll bombs, dude. I can't see them. There's too much stuff on the HUD. Personal problem maybe, but still. Let's go. Yeah, one bomb accomplishes quite a lot for us here. I've made fun of crypto on the NLSS a little bit, but I have friends who are into it. I had friends who were into it in like 2011. I know you're gonna say, wow, you have friends who are millionaires? Nah, dumb idiot sold all his Bitcoin to pay for his master's degree. What a moron, am I right? Got a free education. Could have retired. I don't know. I haven't talked to him in a long time. This might actually eat him up inside, and as a result, I don't necessarily want to contribute to that. It would probably eat me up inside, even though, how could you have known, right? Anyway, the point is, I hate sauerkraut. That's what I'm really trying to say here. Hey, could you just be dead? There we go. See, was that so hard? Butt bombs is nice. I think we do want Bob's brain. And the reason for Bob's brain is it gives us easy sad bombs access. like a Sunday morning. Krampus. I would love to have reroll ability, but I do not. So a lump of coal is gonna have to do us for now. That's okay. I have bad opinions. I want to make it clear. I'm guilty sometimes, and I feel bad about it. Oh my god, just close the Skype window. People are having a freaking breakdown in Skype right now. Not when I'm recording Isaac, aka you can't have a breakdown ever. What was I gonna say? I have bad opinions sometimes. I'm guilty of something, and I'm gonna give you the tools to make me feel bad, because it helps me get over it, you know? Or get better than it, I should say. Every opinion on Earth is easy to ridicule. This is a philosophy that I'm starting to come up with from spending so much time in Twitch chat. Sometimes we'll be having a reasonable discussion, and people will just make fun of our opinion. Like, they'll take one thing out of context and run with it. Like, ha ha ha, you know? I cherry-picked one little out-of-context thing that sounds absurd, and I'm going with it. Like, Nick Cobalt and I were talking about how 2018 has been really good for video games. And it has been, and I want to say that to counteract some of the cynicism. I'm not going to go back down that tangent, but, you know, there's a lot of people out there who think the games industry is just continually, it gets worse and worse and worse. But in 2018, and let's just say recently, Nick posited, like, do you think that indie games have gotten better over the past, like, 7 or 8 years? And I was like, yeah, they seem to tend to be improving, and games that were really noteworthy in, like, 2011, just because they weren't made by a major publisher and existed and were pretty good, would be swallowed whole by the industry that we've created now, because there's just so much good stuff coming out. And sadly, most of it, not much of it, let's say, pardon me, doesn't get the attention that it would have probably gleaned if it came out in a different era, just because there's so much competition. But it's great for consumers right now. And we talked about it for like 10 minutes, and I saw somebody in chat posted like a snarky emote like, lol, games get better as time goes on. Who would have thought, right? And then like a kappa after it. And I was like, what do you... In no other industry would that be considered even a strange, like, line of reasoning. Nobody's out there, like, coming up with the opinion that, like, you know, oh, movies in 2018 are just better than movies in 1978. You know, nobody's saying that. Is there any reason, like, that we should be feeling bad about having the opinion that it's been a good couple of years for indie games or something like that? Or is it just you being kind of a jerk? And the answer, of course, is it's just him being kind of a jerk, wanting to feel superior. That's my new, I'm being genuine here. That's my new theory. Please don't hurt me. I have a theory, and the theory is that every opinion can be made fun of, and there's a couple of steps to do it. I'm going to teach us all the keys to the kingdom here. Okay, so step one is never provide context. Because if you provide context, it just makes every opinion with context too reasonable. Like if I said, I don't believe we should raise the minimum wage. You might say, if you disagree with that, wow, what a ridiculous opinion. Dunk on me, right? But maybe my original quote was, I don't think we should raise the minimum wage to be over $45,000 an hour. See, you just cut a little bit of context out of it, and all of a sudden it looks like a ridiculable opinion. Second step, repeat it in a funny voice. I don't think we should raise the minimum wage. Third step, exaggerate the position that the person is coming from, so that they seem more out of touch. All right, granddad. Oh, I don't think we should raise the minimum wage. Step 4 is lie about the conditions that they would have benefited from that led to them having this opinion. Oh, I see. Mr. Grew Up and you could buy a house for the price of a pack of Trident chewing gum doesn't think we should raise the minimum wage anymore. And then the final step is just blast it out to all your followers. And that's it. There's your steps. These are, I got new rules, I keep them. Whatever she says, I don't remember. It sounds like I'm being disillusioned. I'm really not. Now that I have this power, I can turn it against Chad as well. I won't, because I'm responsible, at least to some degree. But I could. Oh, I could. Hey, stop this. I know I say this about every run, but this one is like actually genuinely very strange. We will probably win. and it's very strong, but we're quite non-tanky. And it's very dangerous as a result of that. You know what, I do like essentially having unlimited bombs, so I don't necessarily wanna not take the death fly, but I feel like the bombs are just so important right now. Oh. Wouldn't it be funny? I was just gonna say, if I got hit by like a troll bomb after popping addicted, to purge it from the rotation, or at least purge it from my inventory. The answer is no, it would not be funny. It would be extremely humorless, and I would be upset on an actual human level. Alright. No fun allowed. Just walk it back. Walk it up. Okay, this is really good. Hit him with Bob's brain right off the bat, please. And he's almost dead. One well-placed bomb would actually probably do it, but our bomb was not well-placed. You see, like, the damage output is just silly. But the damage output to us, it doesn't have to be that silly to kill us. Alright, we got Mega Satan, like, straight away. Should we? I think we should just do it. Our lock stat is not particularly impressive. Tell you what, I'll do the 2 tiny rooms. No. I'll do the 2 tiny rooms on either side of us. Hey, we actually got to a half-heart interval. Do we know what that is? That other room is not a half, or it's not a tiny room, I should say. Did you know a tiny room is faster to beat than a regular sized room? Bet not. Okay, well that was an amazing start. I would just like you to die, please. And then I've wasted way too much time here. Okay, you're dead. And we do this. Acceptable. We're trying to get these like wombo combos to pop. And pop they have, my friend. Pop they have. As the weasel does, so to speak. Help. Never mind, I don't need your stinky help. We're doing fine. You know what I always thought was a weird moment in the AC/DC song Thunderstruck? Is when, during the bridge, he goes, yeah, we're alright. We're doing fine. And I'm like, wait, is this a song about somebody asking how you are when you're going through a tough time? Because I kind of got the idea it was like the song you play before Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals. I didn't realize that it was actually like a mental health sort of thing. Where you've been so thunderstruck recently that, you know, you just haven't known who you are anymore. Anyway, we beat Mega Satan on this run. The whole thing was scary, like front to back, but also entertaining. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, click the like button. Helps out a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.